We'll go ahead and get started. I've got my screen shared right now. And what you guys see on it is a facsimile edition of a medieval manuscript. And the reason I put this one up, it's not my favorite manuscript ever, but it was a really good example of what you'll see in a lot of the manuscripts from around the 1500s. And it's just like, it almost looks like they're imitating pressed flowers, right? You just see flowers all around the picture of all sorts of different types. And some of you are from places,
from
right?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Oh, Mary, you came through. Wonderful. Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Okay, and what classes do you take with Scole? Okay, so yeah, so the reason I chose this manuscript, welcome to, who is it that just popped in? Samuel, welcome Samuel. We're just getting started. We're looking at a manuscript. Oh, Samuel from outer space. Where in the United States are you from? Oh, we've still got several people coming in. Okay, maybe we will pause for a bit while we're still getting more folks. All right, Samuel, could you just introduce yourself, where you're from, and what you take with Scole?
I'm from Fort Worth.
Fort Worth, Texas. Very nice. Yeah, it seems we've got a lot of Texans here tonight. And then Amy, who just popped in, if you could turn your video on and introduce yourself, that would be great too. Where you're from and what classes you're taking with Scole. Or you could stay muted without video. That's fine too. Okay.
You can also use the chat box, everybody, because it
is open. Yes. I always forget about that because we don't use it. Yeah. So yeah, do feel free to put stuff in the chat box. So what you're seeing, it is a manuscript. Like I said, I think it was from the 1500s was this one. And I chose it because of the flowers, right? Like for me, I'm here in Malawi in the southern part of Africa. So for us, it's very, very hot right now, like the kind of heat where you're standing still and you just feel the sweat dripping down your back and you feel gross. And then it's also kind of the beginning of our rainy season. So it's like people are planting their maize right now. It's the one growing season, like where they're going to grow their food for the whole year. So for us, it's just like, you know, the plants and the flowers are coming. Like the rest of the year, there's not so many flowers. But here in Malawi, it's like the orchids are, there's wild orchids, you know, like the orchids you see in pots at the grocery store. Those just grow out in the woods. So the orchids are blooming, the gladiolas are blooming, all sorts of flowers. And so for the people here in Malawi, and I know people in like Florida and Texas, you know, we're so used to seeing pictures of a white Christmas that it's hard to think of the Christmas season without some of our geographical associations. So for me, like this last year and then this year, getting ready for Christmas, you know, trying to get into the Christmas spirit when it's like, I don't get to wear my sweaters, I don't get to wear my hats, you know, I can't, you know, dreaming of a white Christmas, but it's never going to happen. You know, trying to really be in that actual spirit of Christmas without the snow and the evergreen trees. So this project was kind of, for me, just like a personal way of trying to really get in the mood of Christmas, but being able to look beyond just some of those things that aren't an essential feature of Christmas. So this is another example I just wanted to show to kind of inspire people. This one, it's more less realistic in its design, as well as it's more of just the borders and then like the capitals that you see there that get decorated. So what we're going to do, your first task is to choose the prayer that you want to illuminate. So if your family has a prayer that you pray to get ready for Christmas, that's awesome. and you want to use that one, go ahead and use that one. If you don't have a prayer or a Bible verse that's kind of special for you and getting ready for Christmas, you can go ahead and take a look on the page on Scole with for the Christmas this event. And I didn't put it up. Sarah put it up for us on the beautiful website that has it's a Word document that has several different options, both some Latin prayers from the early church. There's some Orthodox prayers, there's some Anglican prayers. I really like a lot of the stuff from the early church, whether it's in the Latin or been translated. They just had such like a deep, beautiful, poetic way of putting things. So you need to choose your prayer. And then the next thing is you need to choose what sort of botanicals, what sort of plants you want to have in your picture. What I would recommend is seeing what is alive where you are, right? Christ is the life of the world. So that was kind of what I was thinking and reflecting on as far as like the Christmas without snow in Southern Africa. It's like he's the life of the world. And so really having these floral Christmases, like the altar at the church for Christmas last year, it was like totally decorated in frangipani flowers, which are those flowers a lot of people associate with Hawaii, and they have this like beautiful light fragrance. So these are some flowers that I just went around and photographed like this last week that are blooming here in Malawi. Right, you can see our wild orchids, and then that like 5-inch pom-pom thing. I've never seen one of those before, but it made me laugh. It looks like Dr. Seuss. So go ahead and think about what is alive where you are, right? If you're in Connecticut, it may just be something, it may be evergreen trees, right? The traditional staple. It could be, maybe it's holly. If you're in Texas or Florida, where else? I guess Massachusetts, you'd be probably like evergreens and stuff too. You guys are going to have to be more creative, right? Looking around, like what is there that's alive in this Christmas season? And welcome to the new people who just popped in. We're just getting started. So to do our manuscripts, you're going to want to choose your prayer. And then right now I've just told people they need to choose what type of flower they want to use for the decorating. So once you've kind of looked around outside you, I know for me personally, it's easier to paint from pictures. So if there's a type of plant where you are, you can shrink our little Zoom into a corner, and then you can have like another window on Google where you can pull up a picture of that type of plant. Doing art from real life, well, not from real life. I mean, well, yes, from real life, but from something real, rather than just trying to pull it from your memory, you're going to end up with a better result, right? Our memories are very faulty, even if you have a good memory. Like, unless you've been drawing for a very, very long time, chances are like what we remember of something, we're going to leave out major things. So I would recommend either painting something that you can actually physically see in real life, or that you have an image of that you can look at. So once you've chosen your flower, this is the one that I chose to do, is this little vine with these pretty little star-shaped orange flowers. You're going to want to measure out the lines for your prayer, so that you know that you have enough space for the words that you want to write. So I used about 1 centimeter. So I just drew down my page, used my ruler to mark off 1 centimeter spaces. So that's going to be your first task to do. You will want watercolor paper. You can also do this just with pencils though. I used watercolor, so that's what I'm going to be explaining for. But if you just want to use regular paper and pencils, that is totally fine too. So you'll want your watercolor paper, a ruler, and a pencil right now. So if you don't have those things, feel free to like run off and go grab them. Yes, Abby.
Is there like a recommended size? It should be like, should it be like a
I did
square or
just
a
a regular
rectangle?
sheet of paper. I think if you have like a longish prayer, definitely use a regular size, right? Like, this is an Advent prayer that is from the Catholic tradition, and so it's a little bit longer. So I definitely wanted a full-size sheet of paper. But if you have just like a short Bible passage and you want to use a smaller piece of paper, it is up to you. It is your project. Yeah.
Thanks.
So I'm going to interrupt your work for just real quick. So once you have your lines done, the next step is to do the ornamental capital, right? So many like that iconic look that we see in illumination, where the first letter of a passage gets made larger and very decorated, right? So I did a simple one. You can see it's just the H is just in like a little box with another box behind it that's going to get colored. And I have my vines coming out of there. And I would also love to know if people have chosen the type of plant that they're using in their image. I would love to know what everybody has chosen. Abigail, what type of plant are you using?
I'm using a winter aconite. It's a flower that blooms around the time of my birthday, and it's generally a yellow, but I think it can come in a purple too.
Oh, very cool. I'll have to Google that one. I'm not familiar with it. Zoya, what are you using?
Holly.
Very nice, very nice. You can't go wrong with holly, just like that beautiful contrast. Anyone else have a plant already chosen that they're using? Henry?
I actually chose two. One is the blue bonnet. It's the flower of Texas.
Nice.
And then I
It's a
found
beautiful
another
flower.
nice image of a different flower. I don't know what it's called, but it's kind of reddish. I think it'll.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that contrast will be really nice. Yeah, yeah.
Miss Graves, I don't know if you noticed,
Yes.
there's some questions in the chat box.
I just saw, all of a sudden I was like, oh
Okay.
shoot, there's 35 comments in the chat box. I'm just starting to answer those. Yeah, I
All right.
apologize.
All right, very good. And then while, Mrs. Graves is doing that, I haven't decided what flower I would do. Anyone have any suggestions for me? I don't know. Yes, Abby.
Crocuses, they're really pretty. Around here, we get two types,
Yes.
white and purple.
I love the purple ones. Oh, that's a good idea. Thank you, Abby.
That's awesome. It looks like I'm looking at the comments and it seems like a lot of people have like missionary connections with people all over the world. That's something that's been so cool about the Skole community. Like I never even knew Malawi existed until like 3 years ago.
Mm.
And then like since coming to Skole, like I've met a couple people and they're like, oh yeah, I was a missionary in Malawi. I was like, it's such a tiny, tiny country. And so many people. It's been wonderful. For the pine needles, do look up I know Abby, I think you mentioned you were doing the aconite. Was that the flower? Yeah, but for pine needles, you can actually, there's some beautiful drawings. If you could even Google like watercolor pine needles, because they do kind of have like a nice long oval shape to them if you actually like look close up. Yeah, and I think is it Jan Brett has done some nice pictures with pine needles. She's a wonderful artist. Yes. So once you've got your lines, go ahead and lightly write the words of your prayer on. I do it just because you're gonna paint over them, but I find even when I'm like, oh, I know this is gonna fit, if I just straight paint the words on, I always run out of space. So you just want to lightly write them in. So once you've got your lines, you can write the words of the prayer and just to make sure you do have enough space, like so that it's like, oh, I can write my words a little bit bigger than this, or I need to write them smaller because I ran out of room. How is everyone's project going? Welcome, Mrs. Marshall.
Hello, thank you. We are reading Jan Brett in our level 1 class this week, and so I'm reminded of her beautiful painting, as you mentioned.
I love her work. Which one are you reading?
We're reading The Mitten. We did the turnip 2 weeks ago.
Very fun.
So much to look at for level 1 students.
Oh, like the borders. Her borders are just
Yes.
incredible. Welcome, Joylyn. So everyone is busy at work, so we're kind of a quiet group.
It's so beautiful, so fabulous.
Is anyone at a stage where they would like to share how their work is coming along? I know for me, I'm a very slow artist, so don't feel like, oh no, I should be going faster.
And
It takes
Henry
me
was
hours to do anything.
Henry was quick to shake his head.
I'm very artistic. I have about 8 lines drawn.
I'm sure they are absolutely perfect lines.
They are. Thank you.
Maybe Presbytera could share what she has so far.
Yeah, and what did you decide on? Are you doing the crocuses?
I am going to do the crocuses, but I'm making a very special project. So I'm kind of using the techniques that you're teaching us here and elaborating just a little bit.
You are totally allowed to do that.
Taking a little artistic license.
And I'm using, I don't want to give it away because the person's in the room that's going to be gifted this, and I'm using a board. So let me take off my
Oh. So are you using egg tempera then? Are you doing it like on an iconography?
No, right now, let me show you here. Right now, what I'm doing is I'm using a plank. And as you can see, I think you can see.
I can see, yes, yeah, we
It's
can.
literally
Yeah.
a board.
Uh-huh. But
Can we
I'm
guess
just
what medium you're gonna use? Are we allowed to guess, or would that be not fair since the person receiving it's in the
well,
room?
they're already here. It's gonna be it's gonna be actually multimedia. So it'll be different different textures, and some paints, some pencils, some fabrics, some tiles that I will grout. So multimedia.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Abby.
I'm kind of stuck on which prayer to use,
Uh-huh.
and I don't really know which one I want.
Oh, that is always hard. Um, well, are there any that really like jump out to you more than any of the others? Or are you like down to two maybe, or two or three?
I'm not down to 2 or 3 yet.
Oh, well, my recommendation is always go for one of the Latin ones. But I'm a Latin teacher, so that's kind of my thing. There's also like the history with it, right? You know, the Latin ones are super old. Power is going on and off here. Yeah, so I mean the Creator, oh gosh, Creator omne siderum is a beautiful one, creator of the stars of night. So a lot of churches will use the translation of that to sing in church around now, but it's like super old, written by Saint Ambrose. So that one I love. I also love Veni Veni Emmanuel. And that one you can do short, right? You could just, it's one of the short verses. You know, and kind of like the longing in that prayer, that song, you know, it's so perfect for this time of year, like when it's almost Christmas, you know, and especially like in our world in America where everyone's like busy shopping and like, you know, they're already celebrating Christmas, and it's like, no, we're waiting. We're like with the Israelites waiting for Christ to come. So I personally really love that one too. So those are my recommendations, but it's your choice. Oh, nice. John 1:14 in Latin. That would be a good one to go to too. I think Samuel, to your question, I think they'll be oh, they will be on the YouTube channel. Okay, I was thinking that they'd be on the website. But yeah, Dr. Blake says that they'll be posted on the events page and on Skole's YouTube channel. So as you're doing your design, something, oh, how do you make the capital letters at the beginning? So you can really do your capital letters however you want. Again, let me go back. Oh, it's not letting me back up. Yes, it will let me back up. Good. Oh, come on. It's being very slow. Previous slide. Oh, there we are. Okay, and then previous slide, even before this one. Sorry, the connection here is not always the best. But the capitals, if you look in medieval manuscripts, right, they're all different. Personally, I usually stick with something kind of like the O down in the bottom of this one, where it's like you have a color box and then the letter, and inside there's just some like pretty little swirls. But some medieval manuscripts, like see like this one here, the letter is a lot more ornate with like scrolls, and then there's a very realistic flower in it. There are some from, I think they're usually like from the 11th and 12th century, I could be wrong, where inside the letters, there'll even be like a full-on image, right? So you'd have something like this Mary on the donkey inside of the letter. I usually don't do something that complicated, but you are welcome to. Like you could use that as the image inside, or you could just do swirls, or just use like the color block behind it. Yes, Abby.
Is the Veni Emmanuel O Como Come Emmanuel?
It is. It's the original Latin for that. Yeah. Yeah, and then Zoya, if you want inspiration too, there's a British artist, William Morris. He did a lot of very ornamental books. And in one of his books, every chapter starts with like an ornamental capital, kind of similar to these manuscripts. He was very inspired by them. And like, even if the letter was the same letter, like if a chapter, there were more than one chapter that began with R, he never reused the same capital image. So you could always do a quick Google of William Morris, or medieval manuscripts, right? To get some inspiration. All right, so I'm sure some of you are getting a little bit further along in your drawings. As you start to think about what colors to use, one thing to think about is contrasting colors. Like Henry mentioned, finding the color that the flower that contrasted with the blue bonnets. And then Mary Grace, are you the one that's doing the holly?
Yeah, I
No.
think, I mean, I haven't really decided yet, but I probably will do holly and ivy or something.
Okay, nice. Like, is that like naturally has the contrast? But even as you're doing your like design with your capital letter, something to think about is those complementary colors and what colors are harmonious, which ones are contrasting. You know, nature is wonderful because it's like the holly with its green leaves and its red berries. Like we see that it naturally has complementary colors. And then like with this flower that I found, the little star flower with the vines, you know, naturally with like the orange flowers and the green leaves, it was contrasting. So nature kind of does that like on its own a lot. But then also when you're thinking about what colors to use for your letters, you know, thinking about, how would these colors fit with the colors I've chosen for my flower? Do I want to go with colors that are harmonious? Or do I want to use more contrasting colors? I went with contrasting colors again. But as far as like, yeah, contrasting, but like harmonious with themselves, but contrasting with the other ones around them. I think a lot of times our brains tend to sort it out on their own, right? We intuitively know like what colors are going to look nice together. But we've got the color wheels there just in case you want to reference those for choices. And Presbyter and Maria, now that our two guests have left, I'm curious. When you held up the board, I was like, oh, maybe she's gonna do like wood burning on it. Like, are you doing any wood burning?
Yes, that's
Okay.
part of the media too. So I love making multimedia things. that it's not just one style. It's so what I'm doing now is I'm drawing out, it's gonna be an angel as big as the board, the wings are gonna be, holding a dove. But I wanted to use your technique here of the my brain manuscript
Mhm.
art to kind of like highlight the top of it.
Oh, nice.
And I'm also thinking maybe we'll see, depending on how the wood burning will come out, that on her actual gown, I would put that and almost it look like it's just a design, but actually it is the verse within the
Oh.
folds of the gown.
Oh, that would be pretty. That'll be really cool.
So
Oh,
I
have to
don't
check
know.
this out for you. That sounds very fun.
I will take a picture. But yeah, right now I'm just trying to get the proportions correct. And once I get the proportions correct, then I can go to step 2. I'm going to Camp Hill this coming week. So I thought this would be a beautiful gift to give to Dr. Blake as the first inaugural art festival of Scholé Academy.
Very nice. Yeah,
So,
she's definitely, I mean, this is my first year with Scholé, so I don't know, like, I'm sure it was wonderful before, but she's got such energy.
yes. So I wanted her to have something in remembrance of it. And I love asymmetry.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes, Abby.
So I'm doing one of my favorite verses from Isaiah, and the first letter it starts off with is a T. So I was thinking of kind of doing a tree for it. I was wondering if
Ooh.
that sounded like a good idea.
Yes. Oh, that sounds like a wonderful idea. Yeah, I think that'll look very cool. That's totally something that they would do in medieval manuscripts. Like sometimes they would have like animals that would like curl and twine into the letters. Yeah, that'll be very fun. How's it going for you, Samuel? Good. Yes, Zoya.
How much time is me supposed to go? Because I'm debating doing something that might take a while. And then
So you don't have to finish it today, right? You know, if you do what you think is going to really make you happy and that you think is beautiful, right? If today is just a start, that's totally fine. But I would love to see pictures. Like, so I don't know, I guess if you could send them to Scholé Academy events, you know, maybe, and then they can forward them to me, like when they're finished. I would love to see what people end up doing. Though actually, I think my email's on Scholé's website too, my Scholé email. Some way, I want to see pictures if they're not finished today, which mine wouldn't be. Like I said, I'm a slow artist. It takes me a long time to do everything. Yeah, Samuel.
this is what mine looks like so far.
Ooh. Sorry, I just need to make my conversation box bigger so I can actually see yours better. Get this.
Oh, I need to flip. Great. Wait a minute. There we go.
It is really nice.
Very nice. Oh, I love the flowers. And which flowers did you choose? I can recognize some of them.
I didn't choose any. I just drew flowers.
That's totally fine too. Yeah. Very nice. Abby.
The tree isn't finished yet, but it's kind of flat, and I was wondering how it looked so far.
I think it looks very nice. Like you've got that good tea. What I would consider doing, so a lot of trees, like you get that gracefulness because of the way the branches come out. So your T is very, very nice, but it's very straight, right? So if it were my project, I might, instead of having my T be so blocked, I might make it have more curved branches so that like you've got the trunk coming up and then the branches curve more. So it's not quite such a perfect T, but it's more similar to the way a tree would be. I wonder if
Okay,
there's any,
thanks.
yeah. Wow, I was just looking up online to see if maybe somebody, because I was like, that's a really good idea. I wonder if anybody else has done it. And I didn't find a tree one, but I did just find, oh, it's fuzzy. There we are. This beautiful, oh, there we are. Like there's the capital T from a manuscript, and the T got turned into the cross at the crucifixion. You know, it's just like, oh my gosh, the detail and the beauty. Yes, Henry.
So I've been writing out the
Uh-huh.
verse, and my paper is much bigger than the verse itself. So do you recommend starting over and kind of filling it out a little more so it fits the page better? Or should I just work with what I have from here?
So I think it depends on what you want, right? So you could either recenter and put the words more in the center, so that you can have more of a bigger heading of picture on the top and the side. Or it looked like too, it could also be a good size, like if you cut it and turned it into a smaller piece to use as like either the front of a card or as a bookmark. So those would be my two recommendations, but I would kind of keep the text centered.
Okay.
If you're going to kind of do the illuminated style like this.
Okay.
Yeah.
Another idea I had, if I uh, had room at the bottom, I was thinking of maybe drawing like a Presbyterian cross right here. Is that
That
something
could
that
be
would fit
beautiful as well. Yeah, that
Okay.
could be beautiful as well. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. I'll figure something out.
Sounds good. I look forward to seeing it. How is the tea going for you, Abby?
It's going great. I think I got it. Here, let me show you. How does that look?
Oh no.
Oh, it looked like Miss Graves fell off the call. Just
Yeah.
and see if she's coming back. Presbytera, are you oh, there she is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make you a co-host just in case. So if
Okay.
she falls off, then okay. Hey, Miss Graves, it just so happened that I signed on just in time. So when you fell off, I was the host.
Oh, good. I'm glad, because I was like, all of a sudden I was like, oh no, they're all frozen. They're not moving. Please come back. Please come back. And then they
Yeah.
disappeared.
Yeah. So I've made Presbytera a co-host. So if
Wonderful.
you drop off again, she'll have it. So the video will keep going. Okay.
Good, good, good.
How's it going, everybody?
Good.
Hold up. I'm gonna go to full screen for a second. And then I want you to hold up what you've got so far. Just wherever you are in the process. Okay. Can you show me what you got so far? 1, 2, 3. Oh, yes. I'm impressed. I love it. These are going to be
Oh,
so
Mary Grace, I can't really see yours. Like the lighting is weird.
Oh my gosh, wait. Yeah, I just have like the lettering right now, but it's in
Okay.
the middle there. It
Ooh,
must be
oh, I
really
see. I
hard to
see.
see.
I can see it now. Very nice.
Yeah.
The letter is beautiful.
I'm definitely a planner, so I have all the lines, and now I'm actually working on the letters finally.
Wonderful, wonderful. Samuel.
So mine just fit on my page.
Perfect. Yeah, I see that. It lined up perfectly from the top to the
Yeah.
bottom.
I so don't follow directions, Miss Graves, but I will make a big letter. I promise.
No, totally fine. Abby.
Two things. One, I wanted to say, like, we don't follow directions either. One, with cooking, like, we follow the recipe once, never follow it again. We always add like our own amounts of it, and then it like comes out even better than the recipe. And
See,
two,
like
I
that's
did,
always fair, right? It's like you try it the way it says once, you know, you give them the benefit of like, this is how you say to do it, so we're going to do it your way. And then you tweak it afterwards so that it suits you. So
we like tweak it so much, it's not even the same barely. And then that's my tea.
oh, that's coming out very nice.
Thank you.
Let me see that, Abby. I was looking down on my paper. Ooh. It looks like the Giving Tree a little bit.
Oh, it
You know,
does.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's such a good book. So many wonderful children's books, like, you know, not just for children, for everyone. Zoya, how's it going?
Mine's going good. I have this big empty space right here. I was wondering if you had any suggestions of like how to fill it in.
So it looks like your lettering is a little bit on the small side, which is no problem. Like if you because you can use a pen to do the lettering, but I know for me at least with if I'm going to use a paintbrush, if you're going to do watercolors, it's a little bit easier to have the letters a little bit bigger. So one option is you could erase the letters and rewrite them. Henry, did you have a suggestion or a question?
I had a quick question.
Yeah.
It's not related. Sorry, I thought you were still going.
Well, I was, if you had a suggestion, I wanted to, I was like, oh, maybe Henry has a really good point
No,
for, so
I
yeah,
don't.
let me finish with Zoya and then I'll hear your
Yes.
question. Yeah, so my recommendation would be thinking about, I should have said that when we were doing the lettering, but thinking about how you're going to do the letters, because you can either use a pen, if you have calligraphy pens or like a gel pen, those look nice, work nice. I did use the watercolor paint and a brush. And so even using a watercolor like paints, when I'm doing lettering, I typically use a very, very small brush. So if you have a small, like, my number 3 is usually my favorite one for doing letters. And then holding it very, very straight up and down. But even with that, you know, it's easier to do slightly bigger letters. So that'd be my suggestion. Or you could do what Henry's doing, right? So he's adding more decoration to the bottom. We didn't have it on the bottom. But let me go back to here. But see, like on this manuscript, they have the big blocks of decoration on the side. I mean, and then even in this one, right? Like they have big blocks of white on the top and the bottom. You know, I think we're not comfortable with empty spaces, it seems like, in, you know, either in our lives or in artwork. But the medieval manuscripts, they were fine with empty white space. But they would have it kind of more balanced, right? See how there's a big chunk at the top and a big chunk at the bottom. But you could always, oh, there are some that I've seen where they've got like, see how all of it'd be like this, but they would have the borders going all the way around, filling that space. So there are some like that. Yes, Abby, or sorry, Henry had a question, and then I'll come to you, Abby. Yeah, how's it going, Henry?
It's going well. I finished writing out the verse, and I decided I'm going to cut it in like a 5x7, and that'll
be a
still
nice
give me the
dimension.
margin, yeah, at the bottom. So I was thinking about adding a cross, but do you recommend doing that in the bottom right corner or bottom left corner, and then like having vegetation coming up the sides, my flowers, and then coming here, and then the cross here, or have vegetation here, cross, and then more vegetation coming up?
I think I would do the cross on the right-hand side because see, you've got extra room there because the line doesn't go all the way over. So then you could kind of have it come up a little bit into that space, which could look nice. And then the vegetation will come over from that side.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Abby?
I just wanted to say from something you said a little while back, calligraphy is a personal favorite. I am learning how to write calligraphy, and it's very fun, but also tedious and hard.
It takes a lot of concentration, but I think that's nice, right? Because our world is so busy, you know, and when you have to stop and pause and just like, I am going to spend time making this one letter and it's going to be beautiful, right? It brings that calm that all of the noise in our world kind of, you know, destroys our calm and peace a little bit.
Yeah, I really love it. And once when we were in Boston, we went to one of the stores there and I got a little kit like this big that has a special calligraphy pen and all the different
Nibs.
tops you can use and 2 bottles of ink, and it's a
Oh,
really
nice.
cool
So you
set.
do use, it's like a fountain pen with the reusable ink.
Yeah,
Oh,
I haven't
nice,
used it
nice,
for
nice.
a while yet because it's currently packed, but it's really cool.
Oh, you will like this then. So Abby, I'm a little bit of like a tree hugger, eco person. And like our pens, like, you know, I was trying to think of my life, like what plastic disposable things can I get rid of in my life? So now all of my pens are these vintage fountain pens, and they just make me so happy. Like, because even just in themselves, right? Like they're beautiful, you know, and then I get all these fancy colorful inks. So I bet that's something you would like. You can pick them up for not like, you know, if we think about it, it's like, whoa, like, you know, $12 for a pen, that's a lot. But if you think about it, like over the course of a year, it's like, how many pens do we throw away and what does that add up to? You know, and so it's like you can just pick them up used on eBay and Etsy, and you can pick whatever color you want for your pen, and it's nice and fun. And then you
That
do like
sounds
the
really
ones with the
cool.
chisel edge so that you can do more of the calligraphy, just even your normal writing. It's fun.
Ms. Graves, I was wondering if everyone would be willing to show me what they've got done so far.
Yeah, everyone want to hold up your art again? Like show and tell. We just had
Have you
Dr.
done this
Boykin.
once already when I wasn't here?
Oh, Zoya, that's coming along so nice. I can really see the edging now.
I'm almost done. I just have to finish the rest of my flowers.
Very nice. Yeah, you've got a lot of
So
flowers on
nice.
that first one we saw. Very good.
So nice. Thank you. Oh, you're all doing such beautiful work. And I love that you're having such fruitful conversation and discussion around the work that you're doing at the same time. It's so nice to come together to do something you all have in common, that you all enjoy in common.
It is really fun to see people from like different classes too. Like,
Yeah.
you know, coming together to do something a little bit different. You know, it's like I see my Latin students, but like coming together like with like the Scully people and realizing it's like, wow, it is a bigger community.
Yeah. Oh, Samuel, you're already looking forward to next year? We'll start planning as soon as this is over. Okay, I'm gonna jump out and see how the cookies are baking.
Oh gosh, yeah, I can just imagine the smell of the cookies even now. Like,
I wish I could smell them over Zoom.
I know. Yeah. Oh, love chocolate chip cookies.
Well, Mr. Hall assures me he's going to send me some. We'll see how that works out.
Cookies do actually go in the mail pretty well, so you should remind him.
Okay, I will. Take care, everybody.
Bye. Yeah, does everyone have a favorite Christmas recipe that their family makes? Abby?
I make fudge every year. It's really good, but ever since we moved over to Massachusetts, it's been really hard to get it to set, and it turns out to be more of a cookie dip.
Yeah,
Interesting.
right. I just tried to make chocolate brittle, and it wouldn't set no matter what I did, and it was just gooey like fudge. I'm like, what is this?
So are you guys humid where you are?
Yes.
Even in the wintertime.
Yes,
Wow.
yes. Lots of humidity.
Okay. Oh, that's too bad about the fudge though, and I'm sorry for your chocolate brittle. Fudge is so wonderful. My mom always made fudge every year for Christmas. Yeah,
So
Sam.
rich and creamy.
Oh yeah, Samuel's had his hand up, but then I want to hear what types of fudge you guys made, Abby. Yeah, Samuel. I see that you're done too.
Yes. We like making hash browns with sausage and egg. And it's really
For Christmas morning breakfast.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And orange juice.
Mm-hmm. Very tasty. And do you guys sleep in late on Christmas or like wake up super, super early?
We wake up super.
Okay, nice. All right, Abby, what types of fudge were those that you guys made?
We generally make chocolate fudge, but one year we made butterscotch fudge, and that was the year we found out it doesn't set here. And it was like, but it was still really good.
Nice.
Oh, drat, there was something else I wanted to say.
I'm sure you'll remember.
I
So
really
when
want to
did-
go over and look at the cookies.
Oh, you're welcome to pop over and then you can pop back.
I'll come back. I just
I just wish you could like go, like if it was a physical room, you could like go and bring the cookies back to us and then share out the cookies. That would be.
Yeah. Actually, I can't because I lost the link, but that's okay.
Oh, no.
I stay here. All good.
Well, it should be in because weren't you on the email from Dr. Blake that has the Word? I mean, everyone should have the Word document.
No,
That
no. The actual links were given in the main room under
Oh.
yeah. That's okay. All good.
Okay.
All good. But I want to
Well,
show
we are
you guys.
enjoying your presence. We love having you with us.
I love being here.
Oh,
Let me-
Samuel has the links, so he just shared it with you.
Oh, that's okay. Look at her
the
face.
angel is turning out beautifully.
Isn't that a pretty face?
It is very peaceful.
Yes.
And what you said you were going to do, like hoping to do a passage on her skirt.
Yes.
Which verse were you going to do?
Something with Joy, because, you know, Dr. Blake's
Oh,
first name
her
is
name.
Joy Lynn.
Mhm.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Mary Grace. So I don't know yet. I have to do some research.
Yeah, find exactly the right one.
Yeah.
So Samuel, since you're done, one thing you could do, like you could always take time to like work on some Christmas cards. That's something that I always love to do, is like to make handmade Christmas cards. You know, like choose just like one phrase, or, you know, even just Merry Christmas, right? And then do like the big letters, like super fancy. Let me just pull it up on my screen. Illuminated images. Here we are. So I'm going to share my screen. So like you can choose, right. So if you just Google illuminated capitals, like you get all of this beautiful inspiration. I personally love the insular style manuscripts. So this one that I've pulled up over on the side, insular just means that it's from the British Isles. And so like the Book of Kells, the Book of Lindisfarne, right? But it's like you see these incredible curly Q letters with all these colors, right? Lots of jewel tones. So that could be something, if you're interested in doing that, since you're done, is like, you know, you could find some letters for like the M and the C and do like a medieval style Christmas card. Abby, yes.
I just wanted to say you could do a Christmas card kind of like how we're doing these prayers. That would look really cool.
Yeah, that would be really nice. Like, you know, doing like a Bible verse or a prayer on the top front of a Christmas card similar to this. Oh, you've seen the Book of Kells in person? Was it traveling, or where is it? Do you know? It was in Ireland. Okay. Oh, very cool. Yeah, I'm taking a class right now. So I'm Catholic, and so the class I'm taking it's sources of the liturgy. So it's looking at where the mass comes from and like the original manuscripts, like, and we just looked at one from like we started way early, but now we're like into the 1500s. And some of the manuscripts, oh my gosh, like the time they put into them, like the love that, you know, these writers put into like copying, you know, the words of scripture and the words of prayer. Just so cool. Now I am like, my memory is leaving me. Presbytera, are we supposed to go back into the main room at some point, or do we end from here when the time is over?
I have absolutely no idea. Let me text Sarah and ask.
Yeah, I was like, we had like a training meeting, like planning meeting, and they gave us all the instructions. I'm like, oh
I
shoot.
don't remember.
Yeah, me neither.
That's okay. Good thing we have texting, right?
Oh gosh, I love technology so much of the time.
Okay, hopefully she'll text me back soon. Okay. No, nope, we leave from here.
Okay.
So, but I don't know what time we're supposed to leave, but
I'll check the website and see what time I mean, not that I want to get rid of you guys, but I was just like, oh, I hope that like if there's
well, it
something that we're
is what
supposed to
time
go to.
in Africa?
It's 3:39 a.m. right now. Now I'm awake when it like my alarm went off at like 1:50 and I was like, oh no, why did I sign up for this? But now I'm wide awake. We'll see how I do in class tomorrow. My girls will probably be like, Madam Graves, why do you have circles under your eyes?
Ah,
Though, oh my gosh, the poor things. So here at boarding school, so I'm at a girls' secondary school. It's a boarding school. Um, the girls wake up at 3 a.m. every morning and start their day with 2 hours of study time. I don't know how they do it.
whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like if I had to wake up at 3 a.m. and then study, I would fall right back asleep. But yeah, that's their daily schedule. Abby, how's it going? Oh, it's 7:40 where you are, Samuel? Nice.
I barely managed to get up at 6 in the morning.
Right? See, me too. Me too. Like my alarm recently this morning, though it's funny how our perspective changes. This morning, I slept in really late. I slept in until 7 o'clock, and then I was like, back home in the States, 7 o'clock would not be sleeping in super late. But yeah, 6 o'clock can be really hard some days. All right, so I see. Thank you for getting that answer.
You're welcome. All good.
Is the hand up on purpose still, Abby, or yeah, how can I help?
I wanted to say getting up at 6 o'clock is really hard in the morning, especially when 3 days a week you have to go with your mom to drive your two younger siblings an hour to their school.
Ooh, that is a long commute. That is a very long commute to get to school.
I don't have to go every day, so I'm very glad about that.
Yeah.
I did find a verse. What do you think of this one, guys? From Nehemiah. The joy of the Lord is your strength.
Ooh, yes.
Yeah?
I would say yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for Dr. Joylyn Blake, like that just
Yeah.
sounds perfect.
Yeah, doesn't it? I do like it. You guys are so inspirational.
Well, we are all gathered in Christ's name, and where two or more are gathered, so we've definitely got Christ and the Holy Spirit working actively here. Mary Grace, how's it going?
Okay, so I was very ambitious and I'm definitely not going to finish this tonight, but I'm doing each of the, my background is blurred. It would be helpful if I unblurred that. Okay, so I'm doing each of the O antiphons. So I have 3 up here and 7 down here.
Oh,
And then I'm doing the refrain from Veni Veni Emmanuel. I can speak Latin, but
very
yeah, I'm
nice.
doing that
And
in the middle.
I love that your lettering is the like the Carolingian manuscript. Very nice.
Oh, yeah, I tried.
Yeah, well, you did beautifully. That's turning out very nicely. Samuel, how's it going?
I really wish I was in one of your classes.
One of my classes?
Yeah.
Well, someday, hopefully. Do you take Latin?
Last year I did. It was Amanda Reeves.
Nice. She's very, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. What level Latin are you in?
I think 3 or 4.
Okay. Yeah. So I do Latin with children C. I do like the more like the middle school Latin. Zoya, how's it going?
So I finally started painting, so I'm really happy about that.
Ooh, oh, yep, the holly
Um,
leaves, they're coming together.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And I'm really excited to do this. So yeah.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with what you guys are doing, how it's all coming. Abby, is the hand up on purpose or is it still left up? I never know. I'm like, oh, is the hand still supposed to be there? Yeah, how's it going?
Have you ever lost something and wondered
Oh,
where it
all the
was and
time.
then it was right in front of you?
Did that just happen for you? What were you looking for?
My pencil.
Well, I'm glad it reappeared for you. Welcome, Dr. Blake.
Thank you. I was popping in to see if you were at a stage where you could hold some things up so I could take a little screenshot. Are we at that stage where we can show off a little bit?
I think so. Zoya and Mary Grace, I've seen some color added to theirs, so theirs will show up much nicer this time with the color showing up. How about you, Henry? Is there color coming, or are we still being like super careful and perfectionist?
No,
Hey,
I'm being
Henry. Oh.
perfectionistic. I was getting the right dimensions for my cross.
Very good, though. Always,
You can
always
just
be
say
careful.
cheese if you want. All right, hold those up. Those look beautiful. Cheese.